That is going to lead us into our next game. Now, I'm not going to take a break, although I will show the intro while I load up the replay. So let's head on over to that. As I load up game 4, it's going to be, well, actually, I'm not going to say who it is or what map it's going to be. That is going to be for after the intro, so I will see you guys in just over a minute.
It's showtime.
Okay guys, welcome back. You are watching the Shinhan Tank Pro League STPL. I am your host, caster and organizer of this tournament, and my name is Kix. If you're just joining us, we are currently watching a series between pSi and BuLL. It's currently tied, and this is going to be game 4. Now, if you're wondering how it's tied, we actually have a walkover in game 2, and I do not actually know the result of that. So I'm hoping to get a response from Grass just to explain this, but maybe we'll be able to work it out after this next game, because if we do head on to the ace match, we know that depending on the result of this game, it'll be the team. So let's have a look at who is going to be playing for us in our series here in the 4th game. Okay, so as you can see on the left hand side of your screen, it's going to be the pSi Storm Protoss. It's going to be Headmaster. Now, Headmaster added to their roster for round 2, didn't actually play a game in round 1. His first game, he did beat Jiro of White Clan, so he did a fairly good job against them. He did lose his second game, but this is going to be his third game here. He's at a 50% win rate, not only against his opponents in general, but also against Terran. Now, both his games have been TV or PvT so far, and his third game's going to be PvT as well. Headmaster turning into a little bit of a Protoss versus Terran sniper here, as on the map we have on the other side, we've got fighting for BuLL. It's going to be Flash. Now, this isn't the Korean Flash. This is actually a South American Flash, Bolivian Flash, I do believe. And he is our Terran player. This is going to be his debut game in the STPL. And he has not played yet, so should be kind of cool to see how he does, especially against someone like Headmaster, who has proved they're fairly strong in PvT. Is Flash's TVP going to live up to his namesake? Is he going to be able to do a good job here? As we move on to our 4th map here, which is on Neo Actec. Now, Neo Actec added to the Shinhan Bank Pro League in the 2010 to 2011 season. Was actually upgraded from Actec. There's depending on what version you're looking at, the ladder version, of course, the proper version, which is the Casper one, does have the droppable cliffs, which the version they're playing on should have as well. But if they were playing on the IC Cup version, that did remove them. For some reason, I guess they thought it was overpowered, which is a bit silly, and it's one of the reasons why I don't like the IC Cup versions of maps too much. They do change a few things they shouldn't do. But it should be a fairly interesting map. 3 players, of course. Yeah, 3-player map, of course. 12, 5, and 7. Well, 12, 4, and 8 o'clock spawns. There's mineral-only thirds and a few other gas bases to fight over. Interesting map dynamics as well. High ground natural, making it a very, very strong map for Protoss in the early game. But let's see how it's gonna, or how our Terran player is gonna fare against that in our 3rd game. 4th game even, of this series. So let's head on over to the game. Week 4, so round 2, week 4, day 1, pSi versus BuLL. It's going to be Headmaster versus Flash, and we're going to move on to Neo Actec right now. And speaking of Neo Aztec, here we are, we're on the map finally at the 12 o'clock position, starting us off in this fourth game. I know it's 3 games, there's actually well, I guess I'll call it the third game. We'll give the result of the walkover another time, but it's gonna be the third game of the series on Neo Aztec. It's gonna be Flash starting us off here in the 12 as the Orange Terran for BuLL. And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand position as the blue Protoss we have fighting for pSi. It's going to be Headmaster. I know, as I did mention before, TVP on this map, very cool. PvT as well. Lots of varied strategies you can go for. As long as they played on the non-IC Cup version of the map as well, we could see some cliff drops. I still haven't had any word from pSi, but just to point out, Hazardiel. Wait, did I see your name right? Hazardi. Hazardi, this isn't the real Flash. This is a South American Flash. So I don't think he's related. Only related by namesake, unfortunately. But is this Flash gonna live up to his namesake? Is his TVP gonna be something special? Now he's scouting very, very quickly. For some reason, he is going to go for a barracks in his main. But this is an incredibly quick scout. Like, you can get away scouting around 14-15 supply, especially on a 3-player map, and still get away with it. But here we go. Is this going to work out in Flash's favor? Maybe he wants to make sure he's not getting proxy gated. Luckily for him, he is going to scout the correct position first. And he is going to see the gateway, he's going to see the Cybernetics Hall coming up as well. So he should know that there's no Zealot on the way, and that's going to make him feel pretty good. Back at home, he's not going for a 1-rax FE, 1-rax double. He is going to go for this refinery very, very early on. Going to allow him to get his... factory up a little bit quicker. Does help a little bit, but 1-rax FE certainly popularized back around 2009 on these high ground natural maps by players like UpMagic. I know he was banned for match fixing, but he's still one of my favourite Terran players from back in the day. And he did popularize that on Byzantium, and later Byzantium too. So nowadays it's certainly more standard among the Korean pros. It's a little bit harder to do. There is a lot of really, not intensive micro, but you have to be very careful with your repairing. If you don't repair absolutely perfectly, you die. And apparently it's saying it's a Z mirror, which doesn't make any sense. Did I not change the players? That's confusing. I'm just going to quickly fix that. Ah, there we go. It's up to date. I don't know what happened. It didn't refresh my top thing. So thank you for pointing that out. Finally have that ready again. But the SUV going to get back unscathed. It's not going to see exactly what tech's coming. It wouldn't have seen this range starting up. And it's not going to know about the second gateway now. This is going to be kind of annoying for him. Thank you very much for the follow. I didn't quite catch your name. Sorry, yes I did, Piggy Zealots. Thank you very much. It does mean a lot. Hopefully you're enjoying the show so far. But we do have these, the first set of Dragoons going to be able to move out on the map. Now Flash is going to have to be very careful here. This is where you really do need that bunker. 1-rax double does of course get you a later tank. Oh, but he's not actually expanding. He's going for a 2-factory play here. Now this could be a very risky decision. 2-factory against 2 gateway. You need very, very good micro to be able to really make that work. And Headmaster is not, or sorry, Flash is not going to be able to see what Headmaster's doing. And with only 3 Marines at the top of this ramp to try and hold on, he's going to have to be very, very careful. And one thing that's good to do is actually position your Marines here, and that looks like what he's going to do. Just to make sure no Dragoons get up the ramp. But of course, there is a bigger ramp over here as well. But he just really has to hold on until we start to see these units kicking in. Now, is he going for mines first? Yes, he is. And now this is going to allow him to defend as well as attack, but you do not want to plan to defend off a 2-factory. It's a very, very powerful attacking maneuver, so that's really, really important to do that. Now, interestingly, we have both players going for complete aggression here. It's 2 gateway power goon against 2 factory, and this is not going to end well, I don't think, for Flash. but Flash does need to be careful. If Flash can get the perfect engagements, if he can whittle down these Dragoon numbers without losing his tanks, he could be in a very good position, but he needs to make sure his tank stays alive. This tank at the moment is the linchpin of his army. Now, of course, the Marines and Vulture are going to be there to do a little bit of soaking. He's going to be going for one Vulture, one tank out of each factory. We should have speed coming up. Yes, we do. So he's going for a more typical modern style of two factories, not going for something like the Gundam Rush or the Joyo Rush. He's shown the fact he's got two factories already, and this should mean Headmaster is going to be able to defend and get ready for it. Now, interestingly, Headmaster's banking a lot of money. He's not built his Nexus yet. He's finally going to build it now. He's going to be pretty safe. He's got a lot of Dragoons out on the map. And here we go. It looks like Flash is going to have enough units to push forward. He should really wait for this other tank though. But behind this, it looks like he's going to expand. So kind of not what I expected. Not the best choice, but with the fact they both did go for this. Now, here is the problem. There are just so many Dragoons when you go for 2-gate Power Goon that the units of Flash getting absolutely decimated, but needs to be careful. The mines could be huge, and they are. 2 Dragoons going down immediately, and quite a bit of damage going down on these other Dragoons as well. And now the tanks are actually out of position. The Dragoons are going to be able to get up the ramp. There's not actually that many mines up here, but he needs to be careful. There's a mine in front of him. Is this going to do a lot of damage? Yes, it is. Only hitting the 1 Dragoon, but great sniping there. He needs to keep his tanks alive. This tank count is what's keeping him in the game. Eventually there will be observers. Oh, the mine is huge once again. What a great mine by Flash. And Headmaster, despite having the advantage due to mines, is slowly starting to fall behind. But with this command center and the Nexus coming up, the Nexus of course going to finish a lot sooner. But for a change, we do actually have the Terror. Wow, how is that Vulture alive? It's got 3 mines. It really needs to make use of them before it dies. Mines, of course, going to be a linchpin in the defense here by Flash. Now, Flash still playing a little bit aggressively with his 3 tanks, trying to clean up anything he can. And it's not the Flash, or the real Flash even. It is his Bolivian cousin from Bolivia, of course. I don't know why I said that twice, but interesting choice of position for that observatory. Wants to make sure he catches any Vultures trying to run by, but of course he does have a lot of Dragoons in the way as well. Now, what are we going to see here from Flash now? He's going to add his 3rd factory on. We don't see an armory just yet. That's something he does need to start to think about adding on soon. He could even think about going for another expansion quickly. And it looks like that could be what he's going to do after he repairs this tank. Very important to keep these alive. Now, Flash, despite going for kind of a suboptimal build, the 2 factory when it doesn't do too much damage, not a great build. Of course, he did manage to kill a lot of the Dragoons, which did force Headmaster back for now. But with this robotics facility coming in, with the robotics support bay as well, it's going to start to get a little bit hairy for our Terran player. Now, the good thing is for him, he does have good map vision. He's doing a very good job keeping his Vultures active on the map, just trying to find anything he can. But what is his plan going to be against this Reaver? Is there any defense in the main? No, there isn't. Is there any defense of the natural? No, there isn't. And here we go. The Reaver is on its way. Now, we don't have shuttle speed even being researched at the moment, so not going to be as strong as it otherwise could be. But here we go. Is he going to fly into this mine? This is going to be such a huge moment. Is Flash going to be able to see this? No, he's not. Yes, he is, but did he catch the minimap? That's a very short amount of time to realize, and he's not moving his tanks. This could be absolutely devastating. There's nothing possible here to actually defend against this, and here we go. The Reaver drops down a reaction from Flash a little bit late. Reaver getting 2 kills already, 3 kills. But it looks like that's going to be it for now. Oh, wow, he actually gets one of the back SCVs. And here we go. Oh my god, the shuttle's actually moved into the turret fire, and this Dragoon gonna get cleaned up. Good use of pulling the mine away from the minerals there. That's actually gonna help Flash a little bit. That could have been really good for him to drop on top of if SCVs came back. Now we immediately see that extra missile turret coming in, but he doesn't have vision of this high ground, so that missile turret can only shoot at the last possible second. Oh, he needs to be careful. He's actually flying into another turret. One hit away from death. This shuttle really does need to go home. It needs to get health. Needs to get its shield back, and certainly needs to get the support base. Thank you very much, Vincent, for the host. Welcome if you've just been watching the Brood War Clan League. And oh, this is a bit of a mistake. That is a huge mistake, actually. And that's going to cost him a lot of mining time, but is it going to be enough to really matter too much? We actually have the Protoss player expanding towards Flash here, rather than expanding away. Which is kind of surprising, but of course the base further back is a mineral only, and it's got a lot of mines at it that he'll have to clean up before he does anything. Flash, of course, adding a lot of units. Looks like the shuttle's still back at home somewhere. I don't think it went down, at least. Did he lose the shuttle? I think he lost the shuttle, didn't he? Oh, that's a pretty big maneuver. Pretty big blunder, even. I'm sure the shuttle must be here somewhere, but here we go, the Vultures finding this exposed nexus. Not going to be able to do too much damage, but we'll be able to force the Dragoons back for just a little bit longer. The Dragoons back here at the ramp, able to clean up those other mines. But here we go, the Vultures trying to move in, trying to do any damage they can. We actually have Headmaster double expanding now. Oh my god, there's nothing actually defending against this run by. All the Dragoons are out of position. Send 2 Vultures into the main if you want to do maximum damage. But there we go, gets a good number of probes. There's no defense back in the main. Does he have any mines? If he does, no he doesn't. You're not microing, you need to get those probes. You could have got so many kills there. Reaver does finally come out. Looks like that shuttle was alive but hiding somewhere. And there we go, just microing his Vulture to his absolute heart's content. And it finally does go down, but not before getting 4 probes. And now the issue is, Flash did delay his armory a very long time. His +1 upgrade, very, very delayed. Still only on 3 factories at 11 minutes into the game. He should be up to about 9 by now. Still no third base from him as well, so he is going to look... I would like to say he's trying to go for a timing attack. It looks like we will have an expansion, but flying very, very far away. It's certainly not going to be an effective timing if he moves in now. There's just so many Dragoons everywhere. What tech do we have going on for our Protoss player? We've got 4, 5, 6, 7 gateways. Citadel coming in for leg speed as well. Going to start seeing that Zealot flood moving in, becoming very, very awkward and annoying for Flash to be able to deal with without big Vulture numbers. And he has been throwing away a lot of Zealots throughout this game. Now he has taken this gas base, and we do see a couple of scans going on, just trying to see if he can find out where the army is. We even have a pylon wall coming up here, which is kind of... You know what, I actually think this is a bit of a mistake. Eventually, we're going to start to see some really, really big unit traffic jams here, especially with these other 2 pylons. I think it would have been much better to wall that off. But the issue is he has taken this base. He's still not getting the gas from it, though. So maybe not as strong as it could be. But we see some more scans going down. +1 attack still being waited for. No 4th command center. How many factories is he up to? He's finally adding up to his 6th factory. Only 2 machine shops, not actually building tanks at the moment, which is really what he needs to improve on. His tank count, while pretty high, of course he does have very few Vultures. There is not that many Zealots here yet for our Protoss player. Finally, we start to see a big swell of them coming out of the gateways. But still, pretty good job by Headmaster so far, keeping his production up. He's been a stable 40 supply ahead for quite a while, and now unfortunately for him he is now supply blocked. While he does that, he's going to add a lot of extra gateways on where he did miss out on the production. Maybe not the best of choices, but of course it will give him the ability to build a few more units later on. And are we going to see a 4th command center? What is going to be Flash's plan here? His +1 attack's about to finish, but surely he doesn't think he has enough to push on 1 attack. He's going to need to wait for at least 2-1 before he moves out, I would say, in this situation. And due to that, he really should be taking this base. But here we go, looks like maybe he is feeling a move out. He's moving out, trying to gain a little bit of information with his Vultures, trying to just secure some more areas in front of his bases, give him a little bit of extra vision. And it looks like Flash could be going for a hidden base up here in this other gas base. Not really sure I agree with that. The second that's scouted, it'll go down. And especially when you have such an easy to defend base up here, it doesn't really make too much sense to try and hide a base. But you know what? He feels like he's a little bit further behind. But this is such a big army coming in from Headmaster here. There's a very nice defensive position. A lot of units out of position though. And here we go. We see another scan going down, looking for the army. Not going to see it. Finally, the vultures are going to see this. Now, how exactly is this engagement going to go? This is going to be a very, very important moment in this game. Now, it looks like Headmaster not willing to fully commit to this just yet. Just trying to clear some of those forward mines. And I would say that's certainly going to work in his favor. Now, here is the problem. He's not defending this main ramp, and this is where the units are going to come in from. There's actually a lot of units trapped to the back, though. This could be a big, big moment. And it looks like just 2 tanks. Gonna be enough for now to force Headmaster's units away. Now, this is mainly because he doesn't have vision of that high ground. Those 2 tanks, they could be 4, they could be 6. He can't afford to take any risks. He's not got any upgrades yet. We should see a forge coming in surely soon. And there we go, +1 attack nearly finished. Actually going for air attack, so we're going to see a carrier switch here at some point, going for 1-1 even. And now, when is this carrier switch going to come into play? The trouble is, it takes 5 minutes for the carriers to really start to sort of really come out and get their interceptors when they're built. And he's just giving Flash the chance to build up. Flash has taken this hidden base. There seems to be no scouting done by Headmaster in quite a while. The Vulture's going to do what they can. He needs to be careful though. This could be a huge mine drag, but no, it's not. And here we go. The Vulture's just being sacrificed. But nice mines hitting the back units. A huge mine drag on the probes. What a great amount of damage. And all of the probes actually for this base, nearly enough, gonna go down. And although he's lost a lot of vultures to do that, that's still a very good position for him to be in. Now, I was going to say, is this a bugged replay? The minerals and gas are going up very, very high at the moment. Both of them really not attacking, so they're not losing too many units, not really being able to rebuild them. Now, is this a bugged replay? I don't think it is. No, it's not, because we're still seeing buildings being built as well. So, still no mining over at this base. I almost feel like he's forgotten about it. Even if you just take the gas, that's a huge, huge win for Terran. And we see Headmaster not trying to take the other main yet, not going to get the extra build space for the gateways. And I mean, with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gateways in his main, he can't realistically add any more on. He's adding his Templar archives. Where are the Stargates? Why has he not started the Stargates yet, man? Oh. Okay. They're over here. And there's the fleet beacon. So it is going to be carriers. Now, interestingly, he's actually grouped his units in small little control groups. And he split them up really, really nicely. This is quite nice to look at. Well, I'm a Terran player, but that's really, really, really nice. Because it means when he pushes in, his units are actually going to be in a decent spread already. And now here we go. Looks like he's going to try and clean up some of these mines. Trying to be as annoying as possible. Maybe we'll see some SCVs transferred over to that other base. Now, these, as soon as this is finished, it should be about 3 minutes before these carriers are fully operational. So that could be very difficult for Flash if he doesn't realize he's fully in on Tank Vulture. Does he have another upgrade coming? No, he doesn't. Did +2 finish? +1 did, but a late science facility is going to delay his upgrades even more. And with 1-1 finished for our Protoss player, 2-2 on the way, that's going to finish way before our Terran upgrades. And Flash is slowly running out of time. And this could be a very, very dangerous situation. He's sieging on top of mines as well now. The thing is for Headmaster is Headmaster doesn't necessarily need to push in. Now, oh, here we go. There's actually a scan going down. He sees the Cybernetics core spinning, and he sees the carriers. This is the thing that he see great Great move by Flash. He knows exactly what's going on now, and this is when he's going to have to push. He is going to have to get every single unit he's got. He's got a lot of tanks, a lot of vultures. He doesn't actually have that many SCVs, which is why his army is so big. I mean, this is about 3 control groups of tanks this man has. Someone tell him to build some vultures. I mean, he has tanks everywhere. And is he going to be able to push in? Is he going to be able to break his way through Headmaster's army? Headmaster's 2-2 has not kicked in yet. He doesn't have that much ground. He's trying to add more and more on, but here we go. Looks like Flash is going to be caught unsieged. Siege mode. You've got to go into siege mode if you want to win this engagement. But there's just so many tanks at the back. What a great bait and switch by Flash. And Marine's army... Headmaster's army is just getting completely decimated here. 1 in every 10 Dragoon going down to those tanks. And it looks like Flash, with his insane tank count, he certainly learned from the Master. His namesake is completely worthwhile here. This is too many tanks. And here we go, all of the ground army is gone for our Protoss player. The carriers do not have the interceptors yet to really deal with this many tanks. They're not going to do that much damage. Even with +1 attack, this is not enough carriers, not enough units, and the Stargates could even go down. This could be a huge, huge moment in this game. Now, do we have a full Zealot flood? Why is he building Dragoons? You need full Zealots to just deal with all these tanks. And this 4th base is going to go down to the tanks, to the Vultures, and even more tanks coming down as well. Looks like... somehow, Flash is not going to be able to get the Stargates for now. He needs to get them very, very quickly. The more this Stargate count builds up, the more the carrier count builds up, the harder it's going to be. And it looks like, despite not having that many carriers, carriers are a pretty good skill to have. And here we go. All of the tanks are getting cleaned up. It's not without casualty, though. He lost his main army. He lost his 4th base. He's finally mining off of here, and he's going to be going for this natural. But there's just so many carriers now. Is he building Goliaths? Yes, he is, but how many does he have? Where are they rallied to? And he's going to need tanks as well, and he's lost all of his tank count. Now he needs to get these Goliaths here. There's 7 carriers now. 8 carriers even. This is going to be so many. This is nearly critical mass. 9 carriers, I would say. To be honest, anything over 6 is hard for Terran to deal with. And I mean, Headmaster is running out of money, but there's just not that much here to defend these tanks. So these tanks are going to go down. A lot of the probes are going to go down. He's trying to add on a load of turrets. They're not going to finish in time. And the Goliaths are actually going to find themselves going down to the Dragoons. They currently have 2-2 upgrades just against 1-1. And he's forced to retreat. He's lost his tanks. He didn't manage to take out this Nexus. This base is completely undefended. And are these carriers going to take this out? It looks like they're going to. I don't think he ever actually scouted this base. But he doesn't need to. The Goliath's trying to move into intercept, but this is just so many carriers now. +1 armor on these carriers. At least +1 attack. 2 attack even. And with just 1-1 on the Goliaths, this is just going to be so much for Flash to try and deal with. He's lost all of his tanks. He's trying to build nothing but Goliaths holding on against the carriers. Well, what's he going to do about the ground army? There's still 13 or so gateways left of production. And this is just too much. It looks like Headmaster has done it yet again. He has won yet another PvT. Another great usage of carriers by him. And slowly but surely he's going to find his way pushing through. Now Flash is obviously going to do what he can. He has this defense matrix out the front. That's going to help him a little bit. The Goliath AI is going to attack the Interceptors before the Dragoons, which makes this a little bit harder for our Terran player. He needs to move back to try and counteract some of this damage. But this is just so much going down to Flash. You know, he's running out of money. And he's running out of hope, it looks like. He's still trying to take down these Goliaths. But just look how many carriers there are. This is 8 carriers. Some great mines going down though, but look, the Goliath count is so minuscule, and the carrier count is so high. There's going to be another 4 carriers down here, and this, I believe, is just going to be the nail in the coffin. Flash has done a great job. He built a lot of tanks, but unfortunately for him, he neglected to build units that shoot up, and that really did cost him in that fight. And losing all of those tanks has led to his ultimate destruction, unfortunately. And I mean, with this 4th base going down, that's his 3rd gas. His 4th gas is still alive. but for how long? Is he going to be able to micro down these carriers with just the four Goliaths? I don't think so. He's trying to use vultures against the Dragoons. The Goliath's going to go down as well. There's just too many carriers. Not enough anti-air here to really deal with this. He might be able to take out one of them, but does it really matter? There's another 4 in reserve, and here they come. This fleet is unstoppable. And it's just too much. This is 12 carriers now. Actually, this is 11 carriers. And you know what? I really do not believe that there's anything that Flash can do. Now, the real Flash would have about 200 million turrets at this point. But unfortunately for Flash, he did start mining his mineral only a little bit late, so he didn't have the minerals to do that. His only saving grace, he does have this base still alive, but the carriers are going to get on top of the factories. They're going to be able to bounce back and forth over this wall, and there is absolutely nothing that our Terran player can do about this. The armories are going to go down. He can't build Goliaths anymore. This vessel is going for an EMP. Doesn't even get the EMP, I believe. Maybe hits like one carrier. And this is just too much. I cannot believe that Headmaster managed to pull this off in the way he did, but a great carrier switch by him, completely unscouted until the very end. And this is just too much. This is such an annoying position. Like, look at all the Goliaths. The Goliaths are finally going to make it out of the main. They're finally going to get it over here, but then they're going to have to go into the main again. Now, this base is absolutely annihilated in the top corner as well. And it looks, unfortunately, for BuLL Flash, that his name... Oh, actually, he's pushing the carriers back. Is this going to be enough? Look how many interceptors there are. That's just too many. Like, people say this is balanced, guys, and you know what? I'm not so sure. This is way too many units. I want to just put it on the classic graphics just for a second and zoom into the normal level. Just look at how many intercepts there are. Look how hard it is to even see. And, I mean, one of the carriers does get taken down, but he still cannot build any Goliaths. He's barely got any income anymore, and this is just so much ground forces. Flash, I hate to tell you this as the man who fancied GG's, but here we go, GG! And it looks like Headmaster is gonna take us to possibly the ace match. Possibly not. Let's have a quick look at my camera for just a second. I'm gonna check on... I'm gonna basically check to see exactly what went on. Grass did respond. Praise did get the walkover, so that is going to be the end of our first series. But let me just quickly put the results fully in. Just give me a second to do that. Really nice win by Headmaster. And you know what? I'm actually quite impressed with how well his PvT is doing. He's not only beating Korean Terrans, he's also beating foreign Terrans now as well. Is anyone going to be able to stop this man? So it was actually Praise versus Fly Mio, so I'm just quickly setting that up for Hitchhiker. And then from there, we can report that as a win for Praise, and quickly bring up the results screen to take us in to our second series of today. Now, I wasn't sure if I was going to cast both, but I may as well. I'm here now. What's the harm in doing that? So we did watch Neo Electric Circuits, the second game, then we just saw Neo Actec. So we would have finished up on Hitchhiker, so let me just check that that definitely updates. Yes, it does. So let's head on over to the overlay and let's announce the winners of this series. Okay, so let's actually load this up. Just going to bring on the overlay once again, just to show you just a quick roundup of how this has gone. Okay, so starting off, we did have Marine versus Reyna. Unfortunately for him, he didn't win, but Reyna did take that first win. Very important for BuLL there, as it turned out, unfortunately, that was their only win. And Mitak starting it off with the comeback, and he was followed up by Headmaster with a great PvT on Neo Actec, and finally, Praise actually took a walkover of a Flymeo. I believe Flymeo didn't turn up on Hitchhiker. So we didn't see that fourth game, unfortunately, but that does mean we did finish a little bit earlier on this series, and will mean that I can actually load up the next set of games, just so I can get ready. But no problem. I enjoy bringing this tournament to you, and I'm glad that everyone, as far as I'm aware, is enjoying playing it. That's like a pretty big thing. But this should be a little bit of a closer series, possibly. Not entirely sure on that, so don't quote me. But I'm going to take a 3-minute break just to set up the overlay, just to get a drink, and I will see you guys very soon.